untold story of Elon Musk. What if I told you the man shaping the future of humanity was once a bullied, lonely kid, reading sci-fi books in a small corner of South Africa? What if your next big financial decision could be inspired by the mindset of the guy who literally launched a car into space? This is not just the story of Elon Musk. It's a story of bold risks, near bankruptcy, emotional breakdowns, and how one man redefined what's impossible. And no, he didn't start with daddy's money or a magic app idea. In fact, the way he started might just scare you. Stick with me, because in the next 10 minutes, you're about to discover how pain, purpose, and persistence took him from Pretoria to planetary dominance. Let's begin the untold story of Elon Musk. Elon Musk was born in Pretoria, South Africa in 1971. From a young age, he wasn't like other kids. At just 12 years old, he sold his first video game called Blaster. Impressive, right? But here's the truth they don't show in motivational montages. He was bullied, brutally, thrown downstairs, beaten so badly he couldn't breathe. And all of this just for being curious. While others played outside, Elon read for 10 hours a day. Science fiction, engineering manuals, anything he could get his hands on. He wasn't escaping reality, he was designing a new one. Pattern interrupt, humorous line. Honestly, if Netflix had existed back then, we might not even have SpaceX today. So, maybe boredom is a superpower. But Musk knew South Africa wasn't where his dreams could fly. So, at 17, he made a decision that most teens only dream of. He left, alone, with barely a plan, but a fire in his gut. But freedom wasn't free. What came next nearly broke him. Landing in Canada first and later in the US, Elon slept on couches, worked at a boiler room, and survived on hot dogs. The millionaire lifestyle? Far from it. Eventually, he landed at Stanford University, but dropped out in 2 days. Why? Because he believed the internet would change the world, and he didn't want to watch from the sidelines. In 1995, he and his brother Kimball launched Zip2, an online city guide for newspapers. He had no money, so he coded all night and showered at the YMCA. 2 years later, Compaq bought Zip2 for $307 million. Elon's cut? $22 million. Not bad for a guy whose biggest luxury was 2-minute noodles. But instead of partying, Elon invested almost all of it into his next idea, an online bank. That bank became PayPal, and just when things were going great, he got fired from his own company while on vacation. Savage, right? But this wasn't the end. It was the test. Because after losing control of PayPal, he set his eyes on something far, far bigger. The final frontier. With $180 million from PayPal's sale to eBay, Elon could have retired, buy a yacht, live in luxury. But no, he poured $100 million into SpaceX, a company everyone said was insane. I mean, a private space company? Back then, that sounded like trying to open a pizza shop on Mars. The first rocket launch? Explosion. Second, explosion. Third, yep, another explosion. NASA laughed. Investors bailed. The media mocked him. Musk had just one rocket left, one chance, and if it failed, everything would be gone. No money, no Tesla, no future, only pressure and a vision. And then, the fourth rocket soared. SpaceX became the first private company to reach orbit. From joke to genius, in a single launch. At the same time, Elon was fighting another uphill battle: Tesla. People laughed at electric cars. Big auto companies dismissed him. And to make things worse, in 2008, both Tesla and SpaceX were almost bankrupt. He had to choose where to invest the last few million he had. But instead of choosing one, he bet on both. He literally borrowed money for rent. The man was almost broke after making $180 million. But that decision, it saved both companies. NASA offered SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract. Tesla delivered the Model S. And suddenly, Elon Musk wasn't just a visionary. He was a force of nature. By the way, if your bank account ever hits zero, just tell Jay yourself, hey, at least I'm not trying to build rockets and electric cars at the same time. Today, Elon Musk leads SpaceX, Tesla, Neuralink, and The Boring Company.